Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Football Shirt Social, your weekly YouTube show where we chat all about football shirts, the good, the bad, and the ones in between. I am, of course, your host, Tony Jameson. Joining me, as always, is Si Maggio. And before we say hi, Si, got our first guest, our first ever guest. Rich Owens is here, everyone.
Hello, mate. Thank you. Thank you, Si. Thank you.
I had to do it silently. I didn't want the mic to pick up like annoying noises.
Just golf clap. Delicate.
Also, didn't want him to get a little bit too above his stage where he's getting actual applause. Like, oh my God, he didn't want to be here. Like, no, quietly.
He is the guinea pig guest, isn't he? That's
Thank you. Yeah.
You're not the guinea pig guest, Rich. You were first on my list.
First guest, number one.
I'm not saying what list you were on, but you were first.
Who's available at short notice on a Sunday night? Rich Owens, and it's fine. It's how I get most of my work. There's no.
He'll do whatever whatever Tony asks him. I know, Rich. He'll just appear on any show.
It's a system.
Rich, how are you? How are you? We're going to do this properly. How are you, pal?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm very, very good. Very, very good. Thank you for asking me. It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much. I feel privileged. I found out about the concept of the show, and I thought, I like football shirts. And Tony messaged me, you do like football shirts. You want to come talk about them? I absolutely bloody do. So, yeah, delighted to be here, fellas. Thank you very much.
To be honest, I'm finding it a fairly easy sell. I think Si's the same, going like, do you like football shirts? Yeah. Do you want to talk about football shirts? Yeah, I do. Yeah, that sounds a good idea. Thank you. I'll come and do that. Si, how are you keeping on, man? Are you well?
I'm good. You know, since we recorded the other show an hour ago. Yeah, very good. So it's like I mean, I've got a beer this time actually, which is an advantage. It's very red. I was just saying before the show. But yes, I like you just said, the selling of this as a topic is much easier than, obviously we do the Football Manager content, which is very niche. A lot of people like football, but to explain Football Manager to someone takes a little bit more. Whereas to explain, do you like football? Have you ever seen a football shirt? Like, that's very easy, right? Do you have a favorite football shirt? Do you have a little bit of nostalgia for the 1980s or the 1990s? That's a much easier sell than, at worst, someone just comes on and talks about Batistuta for 30 minutes and everyone's
a winner. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine because in any other context, that's a really bad job interview. But here, it's spot on. It's exactly what we need. I should say as well, by the way, Si has already alluded to it. We've already, of course, done episode 1. This is now episode 2. If you've enjoyed that, of course, please do smash that like button on the video and this one as well. And make sure you subscribe to the channel because if you're here for episode 2, I'm guessing it's the sort of thing that you like, right? So whack the subscribe button on it, and these are going to be dropping weekly. I believe this is actually a little bonus episode. You get 2 in the first week because we like to treat you nice around here. So before we get into the main crux of the show, we have to address what we are wearing because that's, again, that's part of the fashionistas flavor that we are. And again, it's the benefit of being on YouTube as opposed to an auditory platform. Rich, we'll start with our guest first of all. Rich, what are you wearing, pal? That's almost like a really crap catchphrase, isn't it? Rich, what are you wearing? Actually, that's also really creepy. Rich, what are you wearing? Tell me.
Yeah. So I'm wearing a delightful football shirt worn by professional football team Kashima Antlers from the J League. So bought to celebrate the start of my FM24 content.
You got to give us a little bit of a fashion spin, Rich.
Please, allow me. Here we go. So,
he's flashing leg first. Interesting. Nice. Oh, I like that.
Oh, it's got a number as well.
Oh, no, the detail on the sleeves I'm going for.
Oh. You've not seen the back of the shirt yet, lads. You've not seen the back of the shirt. Because what would you be expecting to be on the back of a shirt which is worn by a professional Japanese football team? Obviously something...
An anime character.
It's not a terrible guess, actually. Something...
I'm very conscious of whatever I say might end up getting me cancelled, so I'm just going to leave it. Let's side with the guesswork. But literally, everyone below going, yeah, that. Whatever you comment below, that's exactly right thing.
A blossom tree?
A wave?
No. All excellent ideas and all ones that I feel would have been brought up in the design meeting.
A samurai? A dragon?
What they went for is... Hold on. I've gone...
A cowboy hat!
Because of course there is. But it's a beautiful shirt. I'm very, very, very happy with it. It's my most recent purchase, and it's ever so nice.
Mate, you
It's
can't move
nice.
for Japanese cowboys. Let's be honest.
Absolutely.
They do have a
What were you
fascination
expecting?
with westerns, actually, the Japanese, and there's this weird overlap between westerns and Japanese culture. A lot of westerns are based on Japanese culture. If you ever seen the film Magnificent Seven,
Mhm.
it's based on the Seven Samurai.
Yeah,
So
because
factoid for you there.
the numbers really give it away, doesn't it? And
Yeah,
Taco Bell is huge in Tokyo. So
KFC is
Love
big. KFC is big. They have KFC for Christmas.
yeah, but there's very very few westerns though, is it? Like for a fistful of dollars isn't exactly that shootout scene where they're going like, and get me a bargain bucket as well. Which, to be fair, would make the film much better if the Searchers, right? If the Searchers was on and they were going like John Ford's going, I need to wonder how do we get this scene a little bit more gritty? Throw a Zinger Tower burger in.
Oh, you get the Colonel in. The Colonel is a very Western character.
Absolutely. Look, here we go. So the podcast, what, 5 minutes into the record, it's been derailed.
Derailed.
Football shirts, no. Let's just fix cinema. Okay, we have ideas. How to make a film better. It's a torture scene. He's tied to a chair. They don't waterboard it. They just pour KFC gravy over his head. It's always really hot, really, really hot, claggy, gets in your nostrils.
Well, there is they take the gravy away and they only offer beans. You're like, but the gravy's why I'm here. I'll tell you all the secrets. I'll tell you. Bring the gravy back.
Oh, who orders beans in KFC? Who knows?
I've got no idea. I've got no idea.
Disgusting
I feel as though we should try and get it back on track at some point. But we'll come back to KFC beans. Comment below, beans or gravy. And let's be honest, we all know it's gravy. Right? Si, have you got you haven't got a J League shirt on there, have you, today? But...
It's not J League. It's not J League. There is a planned theme for today's show, but as whether we get there or not, as anyone who might have watched the first show might have discovered, is Serie A. We're going to be talking about Serie A. So I've gone for an Inter Milan shirt. This is at the I believe. I'm not quite sure. It's either the 14-15 shirt or one around that era. It does. So the problem I've got is the images I've got of the 14-15 shirt. This is genuine because I've checked the tag, but the Nike tick is red and there's not this blue stripe on the sleeve. But it's pretty. Actually, it's not the 14-15 because I'm looking. The stripes are horizontal on the 14-15. I've got it just out of eye shot there. So I think it must be around that era. But it's an Inter Milan away shirt. They got some really nice classic shirts that we're definitely going to look at later on today. Tony, what about yourself? What have you gone for today?
Well, I have gone between Italy and Japan is Turkey. So I figured, literally, I went with a geographical choice, and I'm wearing a Bursaspor jersey from, I think, 21 or 22 or something. Now, the interesting thing with Bursaspor, before I stand up, because I will warn you, as you can see, this is a Kappa shirt. So they are a little bit snugger than normal shirts. So this might be a player issue. There is certainly not a fan-issued one, let's be honest. But they have the really interesting thing and the really smart / really annoying thing of being green and white for their home kit, away kit, and third kit. So just, when they get a colour clash of green, they're like, oh, well, how about we wear a white and green kit? And they're like, that's the same. Third kit, predominantly green. Well, again, we're going to have a problem there, Bursaspor. It'll be fine. Our stadium's a crocodile. And they go, yeah, fair. Yeah. So
there is a strategy to it. I mean, and I never understand green kits because you're basically playing in camouflage the whole match. Like, you could just hide on the grass. So
no, this
maybe
though,
that is the idea.
It's got white on as well. So
that
like,
helps.
look at all
because,
that
because the lines aren't white,
around.
are they?
You lie on the halfway line.
If you lie down over the line, you can just hide yourself.
Yeah, if you buy players that are 18 yards tall, then you can get them literally have a stripe on the shorts where the it has got stripes. Look, see. This is me. Sorry, there's no flattering angle for this.
Oh, it's snug, isn't it? It is snug.
Isn't it just? But again, arm detail though is very, very nice. I like that.
What does it say? Bursaspor, little. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, it says Bursaspor. It's got some back detail again, Rich. You'll like the back detail.
If it's a cowboy hat, I'm going to lose my mind.
Gonna get a...
There it is. Look at that.
Now I've got a question about the kappa there. Mm-hmm. Is that printed?
No.
Is that in the shirt or is that sewn? That's in the shirt.
In the shirt. That's in the shirt. Yeah.
Because I've got quite a couple of Kappa shirts, and they're always printed. I'm always worried that they're going to peel on the sleeve one as well.
Yeah, no, that's all in the shirt.
That's
all in the shirt.
I think it's called subliminated, as someone messaged me today.
And then a stitched on badge, which are really nice as well. So yeah, the reason I chose Bursasport was I managed them on Football Manager a couple of years ago, and I was really sort of like into it. And I was like, I might do them again. And I've been struggling to try and find a Bursasport shirt. Now I think this is classed as the away shirt because the home shirt is green and white stripes. So they went for away. Let's go hoops. No one's going to expect that. So. But it's difficult to work out whether it's like the first, second, third, or fourth shirt. But I think it's an away kit, and I quite like it. And yeah, as long as I don't move, it's all right.
No sharp intakes of breath.
You see, you're struggling to find a Bursasport shirt. While I've been looking for mystery shirts, quite a lot have shown up.
Really?
You maybe one in the future might be, but I thought I can't for the first one because I know you've probably got a few already. So down the line. There's some nice ones.
Excellent. I like that. We'll wait with those with bated breath. We've got a little challenge, Rich, where we try and buy each other a football shirt as a little gift to be like, hey, this might be something that you might like or hate, either or. So, Rich, speaking of love or hate football shirts, let's quickly rewind on the Rich Owens timeline. When did you first notice there was a slight feeling whenever you saw a football kit?
I'm of a generation. So I'm of a generation where looking back at some classic international football tournaments, I think international tournaments, like international kits, were the first ones that really grabbed my attention because being of an age where, kind of growing up and kind of, discovering football in the early 90s, everybody was a United fan. I live in the Midlands, but everyone was a United fan. So all you saw were United shirts everywhere, and you kind of became blind to them. But it was your international kits that really, really stood out because that was what I was more interested in when it came to watching the telly. So, your classic England shirts, like your late 80s, early 90s, like Dutch shirts, for example. Those are the ones I was like, I tell you what, these men, they can bloody kick a football, and they look really, really nice doing it. So, yeah. Short shorts as well, but we don't talk about the short shorts. Just the nice shirts.
Oh, we will. We will, though. Don't you worry about that.
We'll get into the shorts. That's the spin-off podcast. Just legs. Just legs. But yeah, those are the ones, kind of those early 90s, like late 80s, early 90s international kits. Those are the ones that kind of really stood out to me and grabbed the attention. I was like, these are the ones that I like and would happily wear.
Okay. And then domestically, you're a Sheffield Wednesday fan.
Mm-hmm.
So
domestically. I mean, again, I had a couple of Wednesday kits growing up. Again, late 90s, kind of like the Sanderson era.
Yeah,
it was that really, really weird Premier League era where Sanderson were on Sheffield Wednesday and Southampton shirts, and it felt like there can only be one. Surely there can only be one. But yeah, there was a couple of seasons where there was like sponsorship overlap between the two. So I had a couple of really, really nice Wednesday shirts. But again, Wednesday did a lot of badge redesigns kind of towards the late 90s as well. So they kind of went away from like the classic, like almost like the minimalist owl, like it's almost like the circular outline almost. And they went kind of a bit more heavy on the badge. And then it didn't look as nice. But again, to counteract that was a time where Sheffield Wednesday actually had some really exciting footballers. So it's not necessarily the best shirts, but I've got nice memories of the players in them, like the Di Canios and you towards the end of his ear, David Hursts, and then like your Benito Carbonis as well. Stunning, really, really, really nice kits. So again, just the classic horizontal blue and white stripe, bit of black trim. Ever so lovely. Puma as well, like really, really nicely made Puma kits, which again, few and far between kind of my era kind of growing up. But yeah, really, really nice Puma shirt.
If you were to pick, and Si, I'm going to put this to you as well. I'm going to give Rich the opportunity to go first of all, obviously, as the fan. If you were to pick a Wednesday shirt from that era, right, would it be, and just off the top of my head, I'm thinking what I reckon they're probably the two best home kits. This is going to be the key, home kits. Would your favourite home kit be the traditional blue and white striped Puma one, the Benito Carboni, Paolo Di Canio era Puma with the little black cuff on the trim, which of course had the orange away kit that season, wasn't it? That was, which again is an absolute stunner. Would it be that, Or would you be looking at maybe the Kevin Pressman era Sheffield Wednesday home kit, which had the more predominantly white block down the front, and then the shorter blue stripes, and then more of a blue area towards the sleeves? And I think it's probably that's probably the Sanderson era kit, isn't it? Like, what would you say if you had to pick one of those? What would the one be? If we gave you, say for example, we just gave you some money, and went, right, you have to buy one of those kits right now. Which one would you go for?
Well, I figured that was what I was being given for being to be a guest on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely is. Yeah.
Go by Wednesday shirt. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I would say it's the older school. It's the blue. It's the blue white stripe. It's the Decanio, the Puma, lovely black trim. It had a really nice. It was like an embroidered. It had the badge on the one side. And I think it was the Puma on the other. And then in the middle was like embroidered like SWFC, like in gold, kind of in the middle. And that was a really nice little touch. And again, like you've got your Decanios, you've got your Carbonis running around in those, and those were the special ones. Like the Tango kit was like that set a precedent, I think, in terms of the away kits, because they're earlier on in the season. Like Wednesday predominantly have always had quite nice away kits as well, especially that era, going back a few years as well. Like there's that absolutely stunning like gold with the like sky blue collar and trim, the Mr. Tom, that kind of era of Sheffield Wednesday shirts. That was an absolute stunner. Like that's a dream shirt for me right there. Absolutely wonderful. But because of the era, they are as wide as they are long, which as I get older is actually quite beneficial for me. But I prefer it a bit more fitted. But those were the special ones. But the orange away kit, it was such a, like, it came out of nowhere. Like they'd gone a bit safe the years before. There was like a nice dark green, which again just lie down on the halfway line. But at that point, it wasn't camouflage; it was more giving up. There was a bit of that. But the orange kit, everyone's like, okay, this is a bit weird. But also, the more you look at it, everyone's like, you know what? Credit where due. It's almost iconic now, but in a with a smaller fan base. It's not like it's not got like national or international appeal like some classic shirts have. But in terms of the Sheffield Wednesday fan base, you look back at that bright orange shirt, and you're like, actually, it kind of set the precedent for some of the slightly stranger away shirts that we've had over the following decades. Everyone always looks back at that one and says, okay, well, this is the one that kind of got the ball rolling and taking risks in terms of what they're putting out there for the away kit.
Yeah, and that's a really, really good point, because I think there was an era where away kits got a bit more risky. Si, same question to you, really. If you were to pick one of those Wednesday shirts, and to be fair to Rich, he did throw the Mr. Tom kit in there, and all of a sudden I was like, I don't want any of those kits. I want the Mr. Tom kit. Like, I want the kit that Eric Cantona wore when he was told that, yeah, you look good, but I want to see you play on grass before I really decide whether you're a good player or not. Which of those kits would you think is the most iconic Wednesday? And would you, if you were to purchase one, which one would you go for?
You see, listen to Rich talk about the orange away kit with that Sanderson on the top. And that Sanderson little logo looks like a Dutch flag. So it suddenly looks like you're wearing a Dutch kit. But, and I've shared it with you if you want to share, Tony.
I'm going for this.
Yeah,
this is what we're talking about.
Now, this is just confusing because I think it's like like one of those magic eyes, because there are letters in there. There's the letter S, which is obviously in Sheffield Wednesday, but there's a big letter C in there, and it says King or something on it. Like, why does it say King on the shirt? Where does the letter C fit in?
Well,
go on, Rich, maybe you can explain.
The letter C, absolutely no idea. But obviously, you've got the Puma King references in there because it was around the era with the boots as well. But no, absolutely no idea where the C.
Boots.
Yeah, absolutely no idea where. To be honest, I don't know if the C, if it's just more of a weird coincidence than anything else. But it's see, there he is. There he is.
They don't make keepers like that anymore, do they?
They don't. They can't afford to. He was huge. Can't afford to.
I mean, look how baggy the top is, and then the shorts are like short, but like baggy at the top, tight at the bottom. It's a very like interesting shape.
We've already, and we're only 2 episodes in, but we've already been asked to do an episode on 90s goalkeeper kits. And my word, we will be doing an episode. We'll do an entire series on 90s goalkeeper kits. But like, imagine this, right? Imagine you're in the design meeting, okay? And they're going, right, you've been given the brief now to design Sheffield Wednesday's latest goalkeeper kit. The home kit is going to be blue and white stripes. The away kit is probably going to be, let's say, yellow. What have you done? Well, what I've done is I've thrown all of the colours onto the plate and just went, that'll do. And I've picked up a toy car and driven it through the plate to get some stripes on it. I mean, it's Rich, we've got small children. If they brought that to us, we'd be going, that's shit, isn't it, really? Let's be honest.
That's a woeful effort on your part, children. Just do better. Be better. It's important to berate them into designing better goalkeeper kits from a young age, I find. But the compelling thing about me for that photo, because Kevin Pressman is an iconic goalkeeper in terms of like Sheffield Wednesday's heritage. Like everybody knows Kevin Pressman. That penalty in the League Cup against Wolves that practically took the net off. Show me a better penalty. I dare you. You can't. That photo of Kevin Pressman there, the size of that shirt on him, the fact that was a baggy fit, that should give you some, like, the size of the man. Like that shirt could have like been donated and used as a tent for like 10 people after that game comfortably. That's a 12 birth shirt is what that is. He was a very, very large man. And the fact that he's got room in that as well. Like if you look at the ratio of size in the shirt compared to the shorts, like it was, see from that angle, you can clearly see a SWFC.
There's a W in there, isn't there?
Yeah,
and
that's where the C
I couldn't see the
comes
F
from.
and the W.
The
W is hard to see, isn't it?
But the interesting thing as well, though, is that it is a big shirt, but that's only a medium. So, that's how they were in the 90s. Let's make that a medium. Like, oh, how big's medium? The size of a small venue, really. So,
yeah. Who books that shirt? I reckon you could get a get 50 in on a Tuesday night, and that'd be fantastic.
But there is some absolute iconic goalkeeper tops, and that's an episode and a half, to be honest, going through goalkeeper shirts. But the one that we're going to talk about today is not goalkeeper shirts. It's not even Sheffield Wednesday, Rich, but you have alluded a little bit to what we will be talking about, because you mentioned the moment that Sheffield Wednesday got a bit sexy when they brought some Italians in. Si, of course, wearing his Inter Milan shirt already. We're going to talk about something that I hold very, very dear. Mid-90s Italian football. Because of course we are. Why would we not? And in particular, the 95-96 Serie A collection. Rich, we'll come to you before we come to Si. Do you have a favourite? Do you have an Italian team? I suppose is probably one of the first questions. Can
I shock you? Can I shock you? I am partial to a little bit of 90s Italian football myself. And, 95, 96, a lovely season, a lovely collection. Collection is the right word, isn't it? You couldn't get away with using that for any other league apart from Serie A. It's a beautiful, beautiful collection. In terms of my Italian teams, I've always had a bit of a soft spot because of how good they were. Again, in my formative years, I've always had a bit of a soft spot for AC Milan. I actually think on the rack behind me, I think I've got the AC Milan shirt from the same season as Si is wearing Inter at the moment. It's just the red and the black, isn't it? It's iconic. But it was a good year for red and black stripes in Milan, because the AC Milan home shirt that year, like it's again iconic, nice big gold star over the badge, the Opel logo underneath as well. I think it was Lotto. It was a Lotto shirt that particular year as well. Like absolutely stunning. Like when you look at that shirt, you can instantly imagine Filippo Inzaghi maybe being offside in it. And it's absolutely sublime, absolutely sublime, absolute triumph. And again, it was a great, like the whole AC Milan kit collection that year was great. Like the white away shirt was lovely. Really, really nice yellow third kit as well. Like all of them, powerful. Look at that garment. Look at it. Oh, long sleeve up there as well. Even better.
That's the thing, Rich. Long sleeve. Si, answer me this. Do long sleeve kits look better?
I'm a short sleeve. I've got a few long sleeves. Now, my problem with long sleeves is if you get one that's too small or too large, which is a real problem with Italian shirts, then the sleeves actually cause like a bit of extra problem trying to get your arms into them. And I feel like it's like an additional thing you have to get, you have to maneuver around in. So yeah, I'm more of a short sleeve man myself.
I must admit, I think I am. Like to buy them, yes, I'm a short sleeve man, but sometimes you look at a long sleeve shirt and you're like, yeah, that looks better long sleeved. Like, there's just certain shirts that look better with long sleeves, and that Milan home kit there, just it looks right with long sleeves. Si, what would be your kit of choice from the 95-96 era?
Before I go any further, I do want to say that I'm getting these images. This is from, actually, I'm going to share Football Kit Archive. Okay. So, just to give credit where credit's due, they upload all these images and stuff. We don't want to plagiarize their content. Let's say. I mean, they got some nice stuff on their website as well, like this little graphic that tells you all the manufacturers from that era. Look, Asics, which I always used to think said basics, but it's Asics or Asics, isn't it? They made a lot, and Lotto made a lot. You don't see those guys so much nowadays. But from this season, if I go down, you could, the viewers can get a good idea of some of the shirts. I don't think there's many not good shirts in here.
Sign me up for all of them.
Like you would wear that Barry shirt. That Barry shirt is a little bit lazy, but there's, I think the other team that's maybe not quite there was Picenza and. But all of them are like, and Torino, but Torino, like that would just be a classic, right? That Torino shirt. So, but I think the one I'm going to go for is, and I have actually got one here, which is a remake, a retro remake. So I nearly went for it, which is the Inter Milan third shirt from that season. This remake, of course, is missing the Umbro on it, but it is a genuine product. It's just, they do these score draw ones or whatever. But the shirt actually I would like to go for this season is, and you can see those Inter ones. Those Inter ones are classics. Is the where I've lost it now. I was looking at it. The Parma home shirt with that yellow, like it's almost like a dot. It's like your printer's running out of ink on it. Like a dot matrix down the sleeve there with these yellow lines. And like Parma are a good team at this point in time. I think probably early Buffon, I'd imagine. So yeah, there's some Pippo Inzaghi, Cannavaro, Zola, Dino Maggio. Like what a team that would have been for Parma. And of course, they've hit harder times a couple of times in the years since. Yeah, look at this, a Baggio shirt. Like that. So I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go with Parma for that season. I mean, look, it looks. Look, that guy's got no hair like me. Like I could pull it off, right? It's.
Did you literally just go through looking for other bald men and go like, a shirt that would look fine with a? I mean, yeah, that's an absolute stunner. And even the away kit, is that the away kit that's yellow and blue hoops as well? I think from that era as well.
Yeah, it has like there's a long sleeve version, and the awake actually has. You might be able to just make it out with some little diamonds in it as well in the background there.
I think the yellow hoops obviously come later, but that's beautiful. That Parmalat sponsor as well. Just certain things, again, as we mentioned before, just sponsors just stand out as the things that you sort of, it's just synonymous with clubs. Opel, of course, on Milan, Pirelli for Inter. And what's interesting, Si, before we go on to my shirt, you're mentioning your Inter third shirt there, which is a stunner. It's one of those. It always reminds me of Roberto Carlos on the on Gazzetta Football Italia, that green away shirt there, which you say you haven't got. You haven't got the Umbro logo on yours. Now, this, before we get into my Italian shirt that I love, I'm just going to go full screen a second. I'm going to show you this. Right, this is my Inter Milan shirt. Okay. Which is a stunner from the 90s. Okay, covers my head quite nicely. We'll talk about that in a second because it's very, very important. We're mentioning about our head. It's not. There's no printing on it. So Umbro is, of course, is all part of the stitching in the shirt itself. Pirelli is stitched on,
and the sponsor is stitched as well.
Yeah. I mean, then they have the bit where they have Inter at the bottom, and as you can see, there's all that detail in the black stripes there. An absolute stunning bit of kit. I've got one or two little teeny tiny bobbles on it, nothing major, but again, that collar there, it's all part of the same material. The reason I'm mentioning this is, interestingly, it's an XL. And when I bought that shirt, I wasn't an XL. And I would say I'm not an XL, but this Bursa Sport shirt would suggest maybe I am. There you go, original tag as well. Can't get it on. and not because I can't fit into it on my body. There's a really bizarre. This is what stops it being an excellent quality shirt, and I'm going to have to sell it whether I want to or not. Right? Look at that collar there. Okay, I can't. For some reason, the collar is stitched up right at the top. I've had to do a patch job on that because I can't get my head through. I've got quite a large head anyway. But when you can't get your head into a football shirt, that's a design flaw. But yeah, I'm really gutted because I am going to have to admit defeat and sell this shirt as good quality, and it's still going to be worth a fair whack. So comment below if you're interested in buying an Inter Milan shirt with a slight bit of TJ head damage.
Is it supposed to be stitched? I mean, is it not like, you know, when you buy
Yeah.
a new suit and the pockets come stitched up and whatever, and you're supposed to unstitch your pockets?
I know about the pockets bit, but I didn't know about the shirt bit. So,
Well, did they do that with shirts? Could that be the case? I mean, surely an XL and you can't get your head through it. Like,
I mean, I've got a big head though. So that's the problem.
It is a big old head, though. It is a big old Swede.
Yeah, comment below if I'm meant to actually cut that open and I've been an idiot for like 25 years or whatever, and I've been missing out on all that beautiful Sampdoria goodness. Or comment below, I'll give you 40 quid for it.
You've just made me think. You used to get big head mode in football games. Bring that back.
Yeah, or head mode as I called it.
Head
representation.
Let Tony know if he can untrim that like a suit, because he wants to wear that to a wedding next week. And
exactly, yeah. Which again is another episode coming. When can you wear a football shirt? I'm not going with Inter Milan, Si, and I'm sure both Si and Rich know exactly where I'm going, and it's not this Roma collection, which it should be up the top there. Those absolute bangers of Roma kits. Just keep scrolling back down, Si.
You're saying not? I was looking for Roma. For
AS Roma at the top. Sorry, we'll go for AS Roma at the top. Just hover over these 4 Sampdoria kits, shall we? And you take your pick from whichever one you want. Because my word, we're talking about who had an Italian team. I had an Italian team. Sampdoria were my Italian team, and I struggled to find a Sampdoria kit that is rubbish. I don't think it's possible, right? I think they've had a couple where you go, it's not quite as good. But even the newer ones look pretty decent. But this one in 95, 96, I mean, even the away kit looks fine. The red third kit, bright red third kit is brilliant. But the home kit is one of those. If it wasn't for the fact that they had a shirt a couple of years previously that had a lace collar, which is the greatest Sampdoria shirt of all time. Samp for peace. I mean, look, this is a football club that does things right, yeah? I mean, that is just... You're imagining Mancini, you're imagining, Seedorf, you're imagining, I don't know, Ruud Gullit possibly maybe has just left at that point. But my word, the fact that the badge looks like the fella from Gorillas, I always find is quite interesting as well.
It looks like somebody's got a little pipe in their mouth, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it?
I've actually got it just in arm's reach. Look, this is last season's, and you can see. I mean, if I go to the away shirt from that season, that's very, very close. That's very close. The collar's different,
yeah,
but
manufacturer's different.
Yeah, the manufacturer, they were Macron now, but the actual design across here, like they've gone back to it, and it's nice. This season's is a little bit different. Again, this is this season's one, but they're they build
the collar and the cuffs is lovely.
I mean, a horizontal stripe is rare in a football shirt, and particularly just one. They might be the only club I can think of that do it. But I'm sure there's another one. But
literally wearing horizontal stripe. Celtic have
but a single not like continuous horizontal stripes, but this just like a band, a sash across the middle.
Comment below if you know anyone else who has a cummerbund for
there we go, a cummerbund. Yeah, because a sash would be more like down, and there's some Argentinian teams which have the sash, but the horizontal one I've not seen. Is pretty rare, right?
Yeah, but this is the thing. Like we mentioned as well, the idea. So Sampdoria, right, it's the shirt that's got away, right? I've got my Inter shirt, which is absolutely fantastic. But those Sampdoria kits, I never ended up with a Sampdoria shirt, and I must admit, I'm so sad about that. And I'm now spending a lot of time searching the internet, trying to find good Sampdoria kits. And unfortunately, because of the fact they look like that, I'm not getting much change of a couple of £100, Rich.
Yeah, expensive is the problem. When you shirts of that quality, because this is the thing, they almost transcend it. you don't have to necessarily be a football fan to want to wear one of those shirts, because they're just iconic, like classic looks. So of course they're going to be in significantly higher demand. But I would say, and please feel free to play this to Mrs. J, money well spent. It's an investment opportunity in fine garments. So if you do come across one, treat yourself. You deserve it. Go on.
Christmas is coming, right? What's your big present? A Sampdoria shirt for the 90s. Yeah, Si, are you in that situation? Are you sort of like thinking like, could you drop 200 quid on a football shirt and feel okay about it?
Do you know what? I'm very much a bargain shopper on my football shirts, which is why I've actually counted them not too long ago, and I've increased it since then. There's something like 120 there now. Yeah, right. So if I'd have spent, but some of those cost me quite a lot of those cost me under 20 quid, under a 10 quid. And I think if I'd have spent 200 quid on them, I don't earn that much. I would definitely be bankrupt. I would have to be selling some. So I don't think I could, unless it was something, I think it would have to be something special to me, like an iconic memory. Like that Portsmouth shirt I showed last episode. If there was a reason for me to try and obtain that, even that, I don't think I would quite go up to 200. Maybe in a few years I might think about something. I think the only shirt perhaps I might do it for, I already own 2 copies of. So there's that's for a future episode. What about yourself, Tony?
If you're paying 200 quid for a shirt you've got twice, then you're doing this wrong, Si. You're really doing this wrong.
I've got it long sleeve and short sleeve. That's the reason.
Like there's so many shirts. If I had the money, right, and I think it's one of those things where, and this is what Mrs. J says about me, like that I can be quite almost obsessive about stuff. Like if money's no object, I would have a house full of trainers, a house full of football shirts, and a house full of guitars, and I would be living on my own because there would be no space for anyone else in that room. But I'd be happy, I think. Yeah, I can't justify 200 quid on a football shirt as much as I would love to. If we ended up being millionaires, then yeah, I'd do it. But even then, because I don't really wear them, it would be 200 quid just to write it off as a tax thing for wearing it on this show.
I mean, I tell you what, Tony. Well, here's a challenge almost to the viewers, right? So if this show takes off, which we would like it to, obviously. And next year we get a little bit of, we get ourselves on whatever it is, Google AdSense or YouTube adverts, whatever, rather than them taking the entire cut of the adverts, we get some of the cut. We chuck that money on a big shirt for each other. That'll be like the mystery shirt for Christmas. Not this year, because we're definitely not reaching it by next week, but maybe next year.
Yeah, okay. I'll just give you a little bit of a hint, everyone. This year's budget is not 200 quid.
one tenth of that is closer.
Yeah. Rich, where do you think you would draw the line? Like, is there a shirt that you could feasibly spend that money on, if you had it, of course? And you're like,
I mean that I'm one of the worst people when it comes to spending money, because when I don't have money to spend, I'm fancy shopping list. Football shirts, like stuff for PCs, like I said, guitars, musical instruments. I'm like, I would hemorrhage money into these things if I had it. And then suddenly you get a little bit of money. Like, oh no, that's fine. I can't spend that. That's ridiculous. No, Richard, no. So I'm definitely more in the budget side of things. And I've spent a little bit. I've gone a little bit big. I'd say the most I've spent on a shirt, because you can't really see it because my massive head's in the way. But behind me, I've got a nice little rack of shirts along here. Like Si, I'm a budget shirt shopper. A lot of the shirts on there, TK Maxx. Like just every now and then, you strike gold in a place like TK Maxx. And there's a couple on there that I would never have bought otherwise, but for the fact that they were there. And because nobody seemed to want them, they're like 16 quid a go. So, for example, like I've got this delightful AEK shirt. Look at that. Why do I own it? Nice Puma shirt, nice embossed rubber logos everywhere. But 16 quid that cost me, and why not? I think the most expensive thing I've got on here was about 40 quid, and that was from our trip to Slough earlier in this year. Lovely little Slough number. Shout out to our friend Callum.
I mean, there's a personal story to that one as well, isn't there?
Oh, so, exactly, exactly. Although
you chuck that little bit extra.
I hadn't bought a Macron shirt for quite a few years, And normally when it comes to most football shirts, I'm a large. And I bought a large from the club shop and then instantly went to put it on and then had to go back, like cap in hand. I'm like, excuse me, can I please swap this for a significantly larger size? And they're like, yeah, of course you can. Because they do come up a bit small, the old Macron shirts. But, that was 40 quid well spent. But but you look at some of the shirts I've seen recently. Like there was a beautiful anniversary AIK shirt. Sweden's like all black, and it's like 125th anniversary. Like stunning, but it was a small fortune, and I was like, that is, if I was going to do something, I'd buy that, and like I said, I'd go to weddings in it. I'd go to I'd be buried in it. Like that's the level of like usage I'd have to get out of that shirt to justify it. But yeah, you look at any time you get anywhere close to probably like three figures, and I start to get a little bit wobbly when it comes to spending money on things like that. Because I've got to explain it to my wife as well.
Yeah, I think I messaged Si in one of the initial discussions we had like months and months ago about should we do a show about football shirts? And I sort of said, I was like, I'm really sorry, but I might be about to drop 100 quid on a shirt. And I was like, but I'm not. I'm definitely not. And I'm backing out straight away. But Si, I mean, again, Rich has made, you both said about bargain shopping. I'm quite similar, to be honest. I'm on the apps these days, and that's not the apps that, people who are on the apps do, but I'm on the football shirt apps. Whereabouts are you searching for your shirts? And I guess it's a more of a future episode, but even just a little heads up for where people can go shopping.
Yeah, I think there's a few places I really like classic football shirts. So one of the things you've got to be really careful of is watching out for fakes. So generally, until I'd made a lot of mistakes early on in my eBay days. And also when you start out a collection, I think this is also a future episode, is like, don't just go wild, and if you see a bargain, get it, because I did that a lot, and now I've got a lot of shirts that probably I'll get rid of because they're okay, they're kind of interesting, but not that interesting. So I think a little bit of patience, and goes a long way. But I think classic football shirts is a really good place to start. And then I've also got there's some good sellers on Whatnot. I'll leave my link down in the description below, and if Tony's got one, he's welcome to leave it as well. And if Rich has one, he's welcome to leave it as well. If he has one, then if you go on Whatnot, there's some good sellers on Whatnot, and I think it's a little bit safer because these guys sort of know what they're looking for with fake shirts. So they'll do a little bit of the pre-screening before. It's not a 100% guarantee, but I've not had a bad experience with any of the Whatnot sellers so far, or classic football shirts so far. I had one shirt with classic football shirts, so one of the things you can check with a lot of the brands, I think a Nike one's in the bottom, Adidas one's in the top. You check the product code, and I had a Nike Hayes Verona shirt. What I wanted to check, and it was, if it comes up with a different shirt, then your shirt's normally fake. But it turned out that what happened was in Serie C in Italy, they basically printed on the templates, so it was coming up as just a plain white Nike shirt. And it turned out, so I thought it was fake, and classic football shirts told me a fake, but it wasn't the case at all. They told me a genuine shirt. It was just that the way that the agreement with Nike was that any team could print on that shirt that season if they're in Serie C. So yeah, I think those are probably good places to start. There's a few other ones like Cult Kits. I think is a good place to start as well. You got to be careful on eBay. You got to be careful on Depop. The non-league football store is very good as well. Hopefully we'll have them on the show if they're up for it. So yeah, there's some good places to go out and buy your shirts from.
Yeah, Rich, any advance on that? Are you?
I've used Depop quite a lot myself.
Yeah.
Again, most of the sellers that I've bought from, I've only had one negative experience on Depop, which is why I own both a short and now long sleeve version of the retro Mexican World Cup kit, because I tried to buy one. It's lovely. Ironically, a shirt
which one
I maintain looks better long sleeved.
Oh yeah,
is that a genuine one, Rich?
No, I think they're both like remakes.
Oh, I was going to say, because the genuine one of that is pricey.
Yeah.
The genuine one of that is worth
I've got
a bit.
Short and long, and yeah, the guy who sold me the longer sleeve shirt tried to pretend that he didn't actually have any bank details, so I sent him some money. He's like, "Oh, I've got no way of accessing that. Soz about that. You just can't have your shirt." But yeah, they were very good. But again, most of the shirts that I've bought via Depop seem to have come from guys that will have like red stores elsewhere. But there's like, right, here's some stock I'm finding it hard to get rid of, and I'll stick it on Depop as well. Because when I'm buying shirts on there, it's most of the stuff that I've bought from Depop, for example, has been I've wanted to buy it because it's been linked to like Football Manager content. For example, like the Kashima Antlers shirt came from there because I was trying to find an up to date Kashima Antlers shirt, and again, you're talking like £125, £130 for like this season's kit, and I was like, I couldn't justify that in the slightest, and this was 35. The one I did get that I spent ages looking for. So last season when I did Mexico, I did Atletico San Luis, and because the link with Atletico Madrid, really, really lovely kits. Like, it's very, very similar to Atletico's kits. It's the red and white striped blue trim. Beautiful, beautiful shirts. Could not find them anywhere for love nor money. But the club's only existed since around 2006. So what I managed to get from Depot, and I get through a really, really lovely seller, I've got this, which is Club San Luis, which is the club that Atletico San Luis were before Atletico Madrid invested into the club and saved it. So I've picked up this, and this is proper like classic, like Mexican, like mid 2000 shirts, sponsors everywhere. Big old
Bimbo, Coca-Cola, and Corona. The three, they are the three
iconic. Holy Bimbo, trifecta, isn't it?
And Corona. The only one it's missing, and I think it's a more recent one, is Caliente MX, which is on every Mexican shirt as well.
I must admit, I'm a bit like Rich. I've had positive experiences on Depop personally as well. I think the only one that I actually had, and this is really interesting because I was actually going to wear this tonight. I bought a Nuremberg shirt, right? And the reason I did it because I was just like, I was like, this looks really, really smart, like a really nice, smart. I've got no affiliation, of course, to Nuremberg. I would personally have bought a Kaiserslautern shirt if I could find one that was reasonable in Germany. But I bought this, right? Okay, and again, I was going to wear it tonight, and I wasn't 100% sure. So it's nice, it's straightforward, it's classy, it's just red, it's got black sleeves, it's got a bit of Umbro down the side, which is lovely. On the back, it's 50 Cent branded because you can find them in Der Club. And then there's just a nice bit of black trim on the bottom. Okay, so it's a really, really smart shirt. And it was going for like 12 quid or something. So I was like, I'm going to get that. And the guy sent it me. And I was like, it's a medium. And he's like, oh, I thought it was a large. It's a medium. It's it's an American large. So I sat on it and I was like, I'm probably need to sell that again and get rid. And I was going to get a refund, but then just when like life gets in the way. And I tried it on before the record. I was like, this fits. So I should have worn that instead of the shirt that clearly fits, unless you're hydrated. So yeah, I've had a few bits of success there, but yeah, definitely do keep your eyes peeled, particularly for new shirts. I think if you can see or if you see a Barcelona Ronaldo shirt that's for £35, that's not real. That's not real. Neither is that Batistuta one that I'm desperate to get, and they are not 35 quid. But again, that's another conversation for another episode where we go, hey, you know what? Is it worth just spending just 35 quid and getting on with it? Or should you hold out for the 200 quid shirt and get it proper? I think that's been quite fun. Have we got time for one more thing, Si? Do you reckon we should wrap up?
Ooh, I've got some I want to pass this little bit of news past you. Well, you can just give me your thoughts on it quickly. I don't know if you want to share very quickly. So okay. This is obviously from Classic Football Shirts, but so this was a concept kit that someone made, and we'll have an episode on concept kits later on. But someone made this concept kit for the Philippines. Now, you did a Philippines stave on Football Manager, if I remember. You were PSS Sleman, was it? Was that the team?
Indonesia.
Oh, you did Indonesia. Oh, I've mixed up my Southeast Asian countries. Oh, well, that's me cancelled.
Rich, do you want to be on a podcast?
Right. Well, anyway, in the Philippines, this was a concept shirt, and the FA liked it so much they got in touch with the designer. And it is now the Philippines shirt. These are the Philippines shirts. What do you think to these? Would you wear this? I would wear this.
I would wear the home kit, I reckon.
This one.
Yeah, out of those three, I think I'd wear the home kit. The away kits, I've noticed I've got loads of blue shirts, and I don't know why, so I probably wouldn't buy the blue shirt for that. And I'd love to wear that sort of rainbow shirt, but I think if I was going to go for it, I reckon I'd pick the home. Rich?
Yeah, I agree. I think the colorway for the home shirt is lovely. You know, I love the design of all three is great, but if I had to pick one of the three, I think, yeah, I'm a sucker for anything which is prominently pink football shirt wise. You know, I'm a big pink shirt fan, so that to me, that speaks to me for that reason.
It feels like a summer holiday shirt, right?
Yeah,
Like I would wear that
100%
on a
does,
summer holiday.
yeah.
Like I do feel like, you know, the away one less so. And the third shirt feels like a nightclubbing shirt, which you probably wouldn't
Yeah.
get into. We've talked about this before. You wouldn't get into a nightclub with a football shirt, but the that home shirt, like, oh, I would wear that on the beach. That looks like a nice shirt. So yeah, that's going to be the Philippines national shirt. I just wanted to get your thoughts on the colors of it and the beauty of it.
There's a saying in comedy, when you write a good joke, you took the rest of the day off. This guy took the rest of the week off after he did the home shirt. He was just like, yeah, done. And then you've got the away kit, yeah, blue. Maybe just do the same in blue.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any budding shirt designers out there, just start making concept kits and sending it to the FAs and see what they say. You never know.
Tag us in your concept kits as well. Let us know.
Oh yeah, we would love to see
on
some
Twitter.
concept
Footy,
kits. Anything you find
at Footy Shirt Sock on Twitter. Let us know your concept kits. I will do one more quick thing. Then we'll do one more quick thing, Rich, with you. But while we've got you here, Football Shirt Room 101.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put you right on the spot right now, but I'm going to tell you, I need you to throw a football shirt in the bin forever, and it can't just be Sheffield United because the fact is Sheffield United. Okay.
It could be something about football shirts as well. So, like, if there's a particular thing.
Oh, okay,
like,
okay.
You don't like long sleeve shirts, you can chuck them in the bin.
Okay, so either a specific shirt or elements of shirts. Okay, if it was to be a specific shirt, I think we touched on it at the start of the episode. I think it's that kind of mid-90s Manchester United shirt because they were everywhere. When I was a kid, they were absolutely everywhere, and I'm completely just burnt out on them. Like, I think it was, you know, like, look, I'm the biggest hypocrite in the world because I support a team that geographically there's zero affiliation, but it's the same as when I go pick up my kids from school, and because, you know, my son's 8 and some of his mates are starting to get into football now. Every single kid on the playground's in a full City kit, and you're like, oh no. And it's going to be the same for Seth when he gets older. Like, he's going to look at those City kits and go, God no. Just I wish. Local. Let's go local. But if it had to be a specific shirt, it's that mid-90s United shirt because I was just completely burnt out on them from when I was a kid. So support a local team. Who do you support? Wednesday. But it doesn't matter. But I also I like Birmingham City, so leave me alone. You know, it's one of those things, isn't it? Aspects of football shirts I'd throw in the bin because I'm a pedant. I believe that there should be, regardless of kit manufacturer, there should be a universal size for all football shirts. And, kit manufacturers that make the same size but in different sizes can get in the ocean. It sickens me. Here's contrast and compare. The final time I'll do this evening. Here is the Slough shirt that I purchased a little while ago, a Macron Slough shirt. They do come up a little bit small. Here's a nice almost pink LAFC shirt. Another TK Maxx bargain, extra large by Adidas. If you contrast the two together, there's like they're just two different sizes of clothing. This one's got like an extra 3 inches around the middle. It's got like an extra like 2-3 inches in the length, but they're supposed to be the same size, and they're clearly not the same size. And I think that is triable. Not just Football Shirt Room 101. Get them in front of somebody at The Hague. This needs to be sorted immediately. And
I'm with you there, Rich, because size is size for a reason, isn't it? You can't be like, this is a mile, and then like somebody else goes, yeah, but this is a mile. Go, your mile's longer. How? Like that's just how distance works.
Exactly.
Like, Si, what about yourself? What would you chuck in?
I'm not, that shirt size thing's great. For me, I've got shirts that go from extra small right up to large. I've got larges that are tight, and I've got extra smalls that fit me fine. But the problem is, then I go buy an extra small that doesn't. Like, I'm never getting in, or I'll go buy a large which swamps me. I mean, the worst thing is, I went in the Palermo. I go to Palermo quite a lot. I went to Palermo last season, and I went in the shop, and I said, "It's Kappa." So Kappa are known for being a little bit tight, as are Italian shirts. And they only did the one type for Palermo because they were a Serie B team. Or they might have been Serie C. It might have been 2 years ago. Anyway, the shirt was like quite so it's like the player issue one. So I thought, I said to the guy in Italian, like, medio or grande, you know, which should I wear? And he was like, "Oh, you should no." Actually, I said, "Will a medium fit me?" And he goes, no, always go one size larger, get a large. But I got the large now and I put it on and it swamps me. And I'm like, but then I buy a small Kappa one and I'm like, I'm going to suffocate. I can't get out of it. So yeah, I'm with Rich. I'm with Rich on that one for Room 101. I know there's obviously a difference between like the player fit ones and stuff. But yeah, there's definitely like, oh, by the way, be careful. Never buy a compression one. The compression ones are tight. Like I bought a medium compression shirt, and I was like, "Have I actually bought the right size? Have I bought a kid's size or something?" But I contacted them. They were like, "No, it's a compression shirt. It just means that like it really like it's supposed to be like not tight, like tight. It's stretchy. Like the material's really stretchy, but it is tight. So yeah, the compression shirts are one to watch out for."
Yeah, the that San Luis shirt I showed you a minute ago, it's got a compression collar. So the collar is elasticated, but it's got a really loose fit everywhere else. So you put it on, and you just feel like basically it's like you've gone to a restaurant, you've gone out for your tea, and you've done your napkin bib, but you've done it a little bit too tight. So there's loads and loads of napkin down there, but this bit you're like, oh, I'm feeling a bit restricted. And I think I tried to wear it on stream once. I think I lasted about an hour and a half in it before I was just getting a little bit like, anyway, let's lose another game in Liga MX. Yeah, it's horrible. Compression collars, awful behaviour, but still not as bad as the...
what I like is a shirt that makes you tap out. It's like ridiculous. So this shirt's lovely. What we do, we've got the player issue, but it also delivers a rear naked choke on you at the same time, which is lovely. It's a twin with the UFC. And speaking of that, and here's a tiny little link. Here's a thing that gets in the bin. Collaboration shirts. It's going to be an episode, Si, I reckon. And I'm going predominantly with collaboration shirts that involve Paris Saint-Germain.
Oh, okay.
And LeBron James. Just get
I did have an extra bit of news for tonight, which we haven't had time to get to, but it's a different collaboration with actually it's this manufacturer here, Charlie. They do quite a lot of them. We'll save it for a future episode, but you know they've just actually I'll tell you what, we'll do the news now because it is pertinent this week. So I know we're probably tight on time. But so every year Charlie do, I'm gonna have to share it, aren't I? Every year Charlie do a special edition of shirts. So 3 years ago it was Day of the Dead because they release them around Day of the Dead. 2 years ago it was Mexican wrestler ones, and I've got most of the Day of the Dead ones. The Mexican wrestler ones I've got as well. I've got one. Oh, if I don't knock it over, that was a mistake. So look, like they're really nice, right? Mm-hmm. But it's not that's not a collaboration with anyone. They have done some collaborations. So there is like, example, Star Wars. Mm-hmm. Like that's a cool collaboration, right? Or not? But then people some people might say LeBron is, or Jordan is. Jordan, is it Jordan or LeBron? Last year they did Mexican folklore. So they got an artist to design their shirts. This year, it's a little less Mexican. So the years before were Day of the Dead, very Mexican. Lucha wrestling, very Mexican. Mexican folklore, right? This year's one, and I don't know if this is going to show you, it's Call of Duty. They've got cool... Now, I quite like the shirts themselves. I really like the manufacturer. They do some cool shirts, even if they are absolutely plastered with sponsors. But, yeah, they're... I'll see if we can get a picture of the shirts come up. But they've got a collaboration with Call of Duty. Here you go. So there's a camo one, and they're home and away this year as well. So they've really lent into it with all these Mexican clubs that they do the shirts for. So yeah, there's a little weird one for you. We'll actually look at the shirts another week, but I thought I would leave that there as a little bit of news to end on. And people can let us know what they think of these shirts.
I don't think anyone
very surprised by that. Like, are they following like the Call of Duty business model? Like you buy the shirt and the shirt's £90, but you only actually get the torso, and then the sleeves are microtransactions. And then like,
do you know what? I bet the shirt's got codes on them, haven't they? And then you can unlock the shirt in the game.
Yeah, but I think Richard's right. I think you unlock the sleeves as well.
Unlock the sleeves.
Yeah.
Exactly. The trouble is they'd put out some absolute bangers the last few years with those Mexican like style folklore-y ones, and then suddenly it's like, no, we're doing Call of Duty this year. Where's that come from? Well, I know where it's come from. You know, obviously a big.
I think now there's another episode where we go, right, which video game collaboration shirts do you want, and why is it Tony Hawk's?
If that's what you're doing in the future, just so you know, when you record that, I am free that evening because that's now we're talking my language. Yeah, this is Richard's programs.
Excellent stuff. Well, you know what? I think that's been fun. Rich, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us. And of course, you will be back again. But if before you are back, let everyone know where they can find you.
You can find me in 2 different places. If you want to watch me doing streaming on Twitch, you can do so at twitch.tv/Rich Owens FM. You find me there every single week, sometimes on my own, and sometimes in the company of 2 of my 3 podcast co-hosts, because I'm now, of course, the host of the Football Manager Therapy podcast, which is available on Anchor.
What happened to the old host? I
Spotify.
thought there was this other guy before.
He's off doing a year in merchant shipping, so he's got sent out to sea. And another one went to university
alone,
to better
didn't he?
himself. Yeah, went around all over the world. But you can find me and friends of mine, the United City FM and Jebaru and Y Callum. We get together and we talk about Football Manager every single week. So give it a listen, watch it on YouTube, or don't. I'm not your dad. I can't make you, but it'd be nice if you did.
And what about Twitter?
Twitter at Rich Owens FM on Twitter as well. Drop us a follow. I talk about Football Manager quite a lot. What are the chances? Really high.
Absolutely. Si, where can we find you?
Much like Rich on Twitter, I am a radio station, so at Si Maggio FM, or an old-fashioned radio station by today's standards. But you can find me Si Maggio everywhere else. So Si Maggio and Si Maggio Football here on YouTube. Si Maggio Football is the football shirt one, which I imagine would appeal to more people here. But also on Twitch, and I'm often wearing my football shirts on my Twitch streams. How about yourself, Tony?
I'm at Tony Jameson. I kept it nice and simple. I was going to go DAB, but it's a bit too out there for me, to be honest. You can find me on at Radio Luxembourg. If anyone's
actually no, you're Tony Jameson FM on YouTube.
On YouTube,
you're the other way around.
Yeah.
You're the opposite way around.
But because obviously, because I thought I was going to be like a respected stand-up at first, and then I was like, this Football Manager thing won't take off. And then turns out you can't find my stand-up very much now on YouTube, and it's all me pretending to manage blind Spartans. So Football Manager content is Tony Jameson FM, but main Twitter is at Tony Jameson. Of course, it's the at Footy Shirt Sock on Twitter here. If you have enjoyed this, thank you very much for sitting through and being part of the show. If you have enjoyed it, smash a like on it, drop us a subscribe as well, and we'll of course be back next week with another guest, I reckon, in the Footy Shirt Social. So take care, everyone. See you soon. All the best. Bye now.